So when we look at the overall industrial control system vulnerabilities, you can see the different areas, but you can see that like critical manufacturing is 69. It's a major target, as is energy. But all of these are really important to us. It's important to our daily lives and can affect millions of people. And so we want to be really aware that these kind of things are happening and really understand the different cases here. All right, some of the critical CVEs, just kind of in a general statistical information. Under a total of 670 ICS product flaws were reported in the US in the first half of 2023. Huge number. CISA did a good job of making sure we know about these, so signing up for those alerts is really important. Critical manufacturing, 37.3% of total reported CVE, so it's the biggest target of the list because it's critical, right? These are aspects of manufacturing that we can't do without, and so they know that.
And then followed by energy, which was in second place.
Yeah, close second, 24.3%. And then if you look at the big players here, you can see that the major players, Mitsubishi, Siemens, Rockwell, together are a huge portion of those attacks. They are the ones that this is targeted at because they're big, right? And they affect a lot of people. And same when we get into the energy side, Hitachi, Avantech, Delta Electronics, Rockwell again, right? They made the list twice because they're in that sector so well. And if you look at Siemens, emerged as the leading entity producing the most CVEs through the first half of 2023, accounting for 41 of the totals. So a great number against these companies. Why? Because they're our largest vendors when it comes to these aspects.
A lot to maintain, which means a lot of vulnerabilities.
Yeah, and everything's interconnected, right? Cyber attacks doubled globally, and we just want to make sure that we're aware of this, right? Because we are still working with the same budgets. The attacks have increased, and people are wondering why things cost more. Well, because there's a lot more to defend against, unfortunately. Biggest jump was on utilities, 200%, manufacturing up 165, intrusions from malware, 56, phishing, 49%, and it's always an effective way. 46% of organizations had dealt with an OT incident in the previous 12 months. 46% of all organizations globally had to deal with this. Respondents who considered their organization's OT cybersecurity process highly mature fell to 13%. In other words, those are the people who think they're the safest in 2023, down from 21% in 2022. And I guarantee they're all going to be surprised when they get hit, right? So really understanding it, not if, but when. Which of the following OT security incidents have you encountered in your organization? So this is over the past 12 months. Most had to deal with ransomware. Great deal did a vulnerability of unpatched systems or viruses or malware infiltration. Then you get further down, attack APT. This is, when all of the bad guys work together, or nation states. Employee actions, human error, unintentional, right? So this isn't somebody actually putting malware in the system to hurt us, but because they clicked the link or plugged the USB in, all the usual stuff, bad passwords. DDoS, we're still seeing a huge percentage, is 30%. Phishing is always, and phishing is often related to all of the above, right? It's not just itself, but it is also something we have to deal with. So it does get its own category, but is also utilized for the others. Identity theft, fake login credentials, we've seen that. Ask MGM about their latest attack. Employee actions with malicious intent, 20%. Third-party vendors or suppliers compromise. Huge aspect, and that one keeps getting worse.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that vulnerability of unpatched systems, that's going to happen as part of normal life cycle. But the point is that you're on a patch schedule and the patches eventually roll out, right? So what is the gap? What is the time between a 0 day, or not even a 0 day, but some critical vulnerability and that patch getting applied? That's really the question you have to ask. And the fact that vulnerability of unpatched systems was at the top here, in the top 3 as part of this poll makes me think, well, maybe folks are not, they're answering this as a serious concern because they don't have a way to apply these security updates to maybe legacy systems, for example, legacy systems in these environments, or maybe they don't have the connectivity required to efficiently and regularly apply these patches.
Agreed.
So the fact that this is, in the top 3, that's what that tells me.
Right. And the Move It one is a perfect example. 6 months later, we're still seeing unpatched systems that are vulnerable to it.